More and more people are demanding new functions and fresh design from their electronic goods. In Korea, more than 15 million mobiles are thrown away each year, and millions more other electronic goods meet the same fate. But where do they all go? The city of Guangzhou, China. Huge piles of dumped electronic goods. The city looks like a huge refuse dump. The environment's getting worse. You can see the rubbish anywhere. It's like a trash castle.
We
are now using more and more electronic products in our daily lives now. After they became obsolete, many of them are being dumped in China and causing serious pollution here because of the hazardous substances inside, including mercury and lead.
These electronic goods, designed to improve the lifestyles of the wealthy, are in fact destroying the quality of life in this part of Guangzhou. Guangzhou, the third largest trading city in China, following Beijing and Shanghai. It connects Hong Kong, Macau and the mainland, and is growing economically at a fast pace. Guangzhou Port, the first beneficiary of special economic zone status in China, is always bustling with containers being unloaded from across the world. Some of the containers are actually full of old electronic goods. At a quiet spot a few miles away from the port, we can see people are busy unloading a container. They are all old goods like computers and television sets. According to a UN report, 70% of the world's electronic refuse is sent to China. The majority of the refuse originates in the West. By sending it to other countries, Western countries save money and avoid the environmental restrictions in their own countries. The lorries filled with old computers and TV sets stop at Guiyu. As soon as we arrive, we can see the many bags propped up by each house. The bags are full of electronic refuse. The whole village is just like a big refuse dump. And while we were staying in the town, we witnessed at least 30 lorries coming. As soon as the lorries unloaded the goods, the workers started disassembling the machines. They just used their bare hands, without any safeguards. How many hours a day do you work? 10 hours. I can't see any safety precautions. Isn't it dangerous? Yes, it is. I'm actually worried about my health, but I need to make money. What more can I do? The wage for 10 hours labour is only about $2, much less than the $10 average for a full-time job. Half the workers are actually ex-farmers who've come to the city to find jobs. According to the government's statistical data, about 120,000 local people and 100,000 people from other towns are working for this industry. By contract, the old machines are supposed to be used in China. They're considered second-hand goods, not for disassembly. So the work being done in this village is absolutely illegal. Our crew went undercover as wholesale dealers and approached one factory. The wire, semiconductor chips and other parts were sorted by kind and stacked.
他们就等于这样一批这样过来的，他等于呢，他把好一件。
We are disassembling all the parts and selling them one by one, not a whole machine. You see this part, there's gold inside. You can extract the gold from it. The workplace and process he showed us after the explanation were quite shocking. While the workers were heating the bottom of mainboards of computers to extract microchips, the fumes made their unprotected eyes smart. These workers have nothing to protect themselves from the harmful fumes. The smoke coming from the burner is actually lead gas. When people inhale the lead gas, the lead accumulates inside the human body and fatally damages the brain. The smoke is too strong to breathe. I feel dizzy and I can't see anymore. The toxic gas is not the only problem. The plastic and glass from the machines are dumped anywhere and burned with no regard to pollution. The smoke, filled with toxic chemicals, spreads all over the village, and the ashes run through the river. People told us that most of the old people and children of the village are suffering from respiratory ailments or skin disease. A young man from Sichuan said that he got strange bruises and hurt all over his body after starting work with an incinerator. The bruise was very small at first, just like a mosquito sting, but it was getting bigger and bigger. It was no use putting a plaster on. Now it stops me sleeping. He'd tried medical treatment but said it wasn't working. The symptoms were getting worse and his colleagues were in a similar situation. I wasn't the only person to quit the job after getting sick. My colleagues also got sick after 2 or 3 years working there and stopped working. His daily wages were about $5 US. It wasn't a bad wage, but he couldn't bear the smoke anymore. He's now a cycle taxi. The pollution of the river is also very serious. The villagers of Guiyu must buy water carried from the Nanjing area 30 kilometers away if they want to have proper drinking water. Many people, however, are still using subterranean water for farming and drinking, and they are in danger of metal poisoning. In 2005, Santu Medical School and an international environmental organisation had a medical examination for Guiyu people, and the result was much worse than they expected. More than 80% of Guiyu children tested positive for zinc poisoning. The content of copper and lead in their blood was also much more than children living in other areas. Metal poisoning poses a fatal threat to the human body, especially for children, causing serious diseases or lesions. The metal retards physical and psychological development. It can cause various disorders. As the people are becoming aware of the problem of electronic refuse, the Chinese government has begun to regulate its disposal. However, they're fighting a battle with the West. America, the world's biggest refuse exporter, has legalized refuse export, and refuse traders continue to profit from this. Clearly, a more radical solution is needed. The fundamental cause of the problem is the toxic content of electronic refuse. The multinational corporations producing the goods are all responsible for the problem. They must find a way to reduce the toxic content of their produce. Equally, We as consumers should be aware that old machines we threw away so carelessly are threatening lives in Africa and Asia.